three things. Aladdin. Really great movie as it all. It's really great to watch, and it's really great to sit and just bask in the greatness of, the late Robin Williams and the fellow cast members that are alongside him. But what makes this movie so different? Could be a trend of different things. It could be the fact that maybe it's one of the first Disney animated films to ever come out of the dark ages of the very, very kind of non-money making, non-creative Disney realm that was the 70s and 80s.
Hiss! Oh, you've hissed your last.
1 minute I'm in Central Park, then I'm down on the Lancey Street.
Coming into the 90s, especially in the early 90s, there was a lot of different changes.
Look, Sid, everything.
I mean, Star Wars came out about 22 years prior, 20 plus years prior. And we have a film industry that's kind of in the dark at that point. And in some cases has a lot of great films come out in the span of 20 years plus. So why would this movie be any different? Well, I mean, if you think about Aladdin as it is, it's probably one of the most technically advanced films we've ever seen. The whole scene where he's going through on the magic carpet with a 3D background, that was pretty big in the 90s. To see that kind of 3D computing genius that was that, exactly. And there was a lot of that in a lot of different Disney films, and there's a lot of that now, more prevalent more than ever, in every film. But computers and 3D animation, that's something that wasn't really touched on until, 1995. With this movie.
Toy Story.
You have to understand that there's a lot of things that go into play of talking about these said films. Why? Well, generally speaking, when you think about Aladdin, you don't think it's technically advanced. In fact, if you're watching the film, you're watching it for one of two things. If you're male and you're straight, Jasmine. If you're female and you're straight, probably Aladdin. Yes! Or Jafar, if you're into that sort of thing.
I'm afraid you've worn out your welcome, Prince Abubu.
Or if you just don't give a frick, you just watch it for, the fact that it's Aladdin.
Huzzah! Hail the conquering hero!
But here's the thing. Versatility is not the computer work or even the story. It's simply in the fact that the spirit of it is just kind of strange, don't you think?
Won't you tell us all about it?
If you think about Arabian Nights, you don't think, oh, a blue genie coming out of a lamp. I have no Arabian friends. Like, none. Like, I had a dude in high school that looked at me with sheer disappointment every time people clowned on me. That was the only Arabian person I ever knew. But that, being as it may, opened the door for kind of me understanding, like, Aladdin. It's kind of strange. Like, the idea of a genie coming out of a lamp and just granting you 3 wishes. Where was that seen in pop culture other than Aladdin? Think about it. Pop culture changed in spite of Aladdin because of why? the very story behind it. It's strange.
Leave me alone.
Trapped.
But it's a great story, and it's creative. I think the strangest stories are the most creative. The strangest ideas end up making the most dough. Think about all the strangest ideas you've heard of. Strangest ideas as meaning out there, not like practical and simple. Nothing wrong with practicality and simplicity. Trust me, I like that stuff. But the problem with it is, generally speaking, that you can only go so far with it. So, getting out there and trying to expand upon something that's virtually kind of just a strange story in general. If it was a story prior to the movie, then that's fine. I'm just saying it's a very strange outlook on a story. Being as it may, that being the reason why it's versatile, let's talk about the second thing. So basically, what does it have to do on pop culture? Look everywhere. How often do you see this idea or joke about genie lamps? Lamps took on a whole different meaning after this movie came out. In fact, some of them took a whole different form. This is a lamp. This is a strange looking lamp. Yet everyone is more attracted to this lamp than this lamp. Just strange, isn't it? But that's the thing. It's just, we could never really realize what strangeness this film has to bring. So, maybe this film opened up the strange in people. Opened up the idea of, no, if I had 3 wishes, I'd do this, this, and this. If I had 3 wishes, X and A, X and A, X and A. If I had 3 wishes, etc., etc., etc. I can go even more into this whole 3 wishes, but at that point it just becomes dirty and borderline kind of creepy. But that's not the point. The point is, pop culture has a lot to thank for this film. I mean, I don't know if Arabian women ever had that kind of lay before the film, but because of this film, every guy and girl kind of has more of an affinity towards Arabian women and maybe Arabian men. You know, I know for sure Arabian women. I really don't know what women like. I'm a little confused, honestly. I don't know if they like looks or I don't know. But the point is, there's been a lot of different lays even in animation because of this film. You know, there's a lot of different people who are to thank because of this film in terms of the animation. We can go into detail about that, but I'm going for a generalized look. If you want to see any kind of specific look on specific things in animation and just specific things about Aladdin, that's why YouTube is here. Look it up. There's things that I talk about on this channel that are generalized. And for the sake of pop culture in this movie, generally, everyone really loves this movie. It's a movie that's been, you know, redone, remade, and had sequels to. I like the sequels. I know how people feel about the sequels, but generally speaking, they're pretty good sequels if I do say so myself. Now, judging by the fact that maybe this film had that kind of lay in pop culture and opened the culture up to more Arabian culture than what people were expected to understand about Arabian culture, there's different lays about the same subject. That being as it may, leads into the last topic. What does this mean for you, and what does this mean for me? Simple. We are affected by the very things that we grew up with. Simple enough? And this time, what was it, 1992? The LA riots were happening. And this time, a lot of other things were happening in the world. So what did this movie do in that time? maybe it took people out of that sense of the world for a while. Think about it. Of like racist quotas. Trust me, the beginning of the song before it was Arabian Nights, like Arabian Days, where they cut off whatever it was, where they cut off their face. But now it's where it's hot and the man's in the heat is intense and barbaric. I know, but it's home, you know. But even with that kind of thing, being said. I would like to kind of address the fact that this has nothing to do with uplifting the Arabian culture, especially in the terrible things that are happening over there right now. But what I want to kind of express about this film is its expressiveness in trying to understand the culture that they may have never really thought about before. And what does that mean to you and to me? Well, this is proof that even though some of it's insensitive, that they at least tried, and they at least tried to at least kind of succeed in trying to understand the culture. And understand the things around it. And understand the people. And understand that even with the innuendos and indefinite things that happen in the film, that, you know, we as people can understand each other more and more every day. It's just a matter of time before we start making children that, you know, look entirely different from us. Not entirely, but we mix up so much interracial dating, whatever you want to call it, that we just don't care who we date or what we date. Who we date. That sounded really like furry-ish. Alright, the idea and the closing I want to put on this video is simple. It's simple. You should be able to think of something creative. Aladdin has done this multiple times. Disney has done this multiple times. I feel as though Disney is lacking this very thing in a lot of cases. Because you know what's so great about Aladdin? It's original.